Children, and welcome back to your English class after a short break. Children, today we are going to start lesson number 7 of your reader book, that is Around the World in 80 Days. Children, in this chapter we will read about a British man's zeal to travel the world in 80 days. We will read what makes him decide to travel the world in 80 days and what preparations he made before starting his journey. Before starting the chapter, we should know something about the author. The author of this chapter is Jules Verne. He was a French writer. He wrote novels, plays, and poems and was highly popular during his lifetime. He is best known for writing the novels Around the World in 80 Days, Journey to the Center of the Earth, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Verne is often considered one of the founders of science fiction and remains to this day one of the most translated literary authors in the world. So, children, now we are going to start the chapter. Children, this chapter is an excerpt from a famous novel Around the World in 80 Days. You all have read this novel in your previous class also. So, before starting, just have a look at the difficult words. Children, the very first word is wager. Wager means bet. And the next one is accept. Now, start reading the chapter with me, and you all have to put your fingers where I am reading. A true gentleman never jokes when a serious wager is in question, said Mr. Fogg. I will bet £20,000 with anyone that I shall make the tour of the world in 80 days or less, that is, in 1920 hours or 115,200 minutes. Will you all accept? So, children, this is the story about Phileas Fogg. He is a wealthy British man and he is the speaker of these lines. In this paragraph, we come to know that he bet £20,000 that he can make the tour of the world in 80 days. His friends agreed to accept, each laying a wager of 4,000 to his 20,000. So, he bet with his friends that he stake his £20,000 to take the challenge of completing the journey of the world in 80 days. Well, said Mr. Fogg, the Dover train leaves at 8:45. I shall go by that. So what he says, that the train from which I will leave for the tour, it goes at 8:45 and he is thinking to go by that train. This very evening, asked Stuart. So one of his friends asked, are you going today only? This very evening, repeated Phileas Fogg. He took out his pocket calendar. Today is Wednesday, 2nd October. I shall have to be back in London in this very room of the Reform Club on Saturday, 21 December at 8:45 in the evening. If I am not here, then the 20,000 pounds in my deposit account will be yours, gentlemen. Here is a check for the amount. So, in this paragraph, we come to know that they had a bet of £20,000 and he assures his friends that if he is not going to return by the given date, then the 20,000 pounds in his account will be divided between his friends. So, coming to the next, a statement of the wager was written down and signed by the 6 members of the club. So, whatever the conditions of the bet were, they were noted down and signed by the members. So, these are the members: Phileas Fogg, Stuart, Fallentin, Sullivan, Ralph, and Flanagan. So, these are the friends. Phileas Fogg remained quite calm. He had staked half his fortune and he knew that he might have to spend the other half in completing his journey. His friends, on the other hand, were feeling uncomfortable because they thought that the wager was one sided and unfair to him. Stake is when we put something in lieu of something. So he has staked, he has made the bet in lieu of 20,000 pounds. So he is thinking that he has staked half his fortune. He might win or he might lose. He don't know. And he might have to spend the other half in completing his journey. Whereas his friends on other hands were feeling uncomfortable because they thought that whatever are the conditions of the bet, they are one-sided and unfair to Phileas Fogg. At this moment, the clock struck 7 o'clock. It means it is 7 o'clock in the clock. Mr. Fogg was asked if he would like to stop playing so as to prepare for his journey. So one of his friends asked, "We shall stop playing if you want to prepare for your journey." "I am always ready," replied Phileas Fogg. "Diamonds are trumps." So see, we can see the meaning of the word trumps. One of the 4 types of cards that ranks above the others in a card game. So trump is one of the card that ranks above the other cards in a card game. So all the friends were playing cards. He said, after he had dealt the cards, "You begin, Mr. Stewart." So one of the card named is diamonds, and that diamond card is one of the biggest card. It ranks above the others in the card game. At 25 minutes past 7, Phileas Fogg took leave of his friends and left the club. He had won 20 guineas at whist. At 50 minutes past 7, he entered his house. So, guineas, it is a unit of money or a gold coin used in the Britain in the past. Whist, it is a card game for 2 pairs of players. So means all the friends were playing the game whist. At 50 minutes past 7, he entered his house. So finally he left his friends in the club and he entered his house to start the preparations for his journey. Passepartout had been making a careful study of the daily routine. So children, here a new name occurred, Passepartout. Passepartout was the valet of Mr. Fogg. And children, valet is a man who looks after another man. So he is the caretaker of Mr. Fogg. So he was carefully studying the daily routine of his master. According to the program, Mr. Fogg never came home before 12 at night, and Passepartout could hardly believe his ears when he heard him come in. So usually his master returns at 12, and when he returned early today, he was surprised. He couldn't believe. Then what happened? Phileas Fogg went straight to his bedroom and then he shouted for his servant, means he called him. Passepartout made no reply. The call couldn't not be for him. It was the wrong time. So, actually, Passepartout, he knew that his master comes at 12 o'clock. So, he thought that the call is not for him. So, he didn't reply to the call. Passepartout called Mr. Fogg again. Passepartout went in. "I have called you twice," said his master. Now, his master angrily said that I have called you twice, but you didn't reply. But it is not 12 o'clock, replied Passepartout, his watch in his hand. So accordingly, he told his master, as you used to come at 12, and it is not 12 o'clock in the watch. I know it is not, replied Phileas Fogg, and I am not finding fault. We leave for Dover in 10 minutes. So his master replied, I very well know that it is not 12, but we have to leave for Dover in 10 minutes. A puzzled smile appeared on the Frenchman's face. Are you going away, sir? So Passepartout was a bit confused, and in confusion he asked him, Are you going somewhere? Yes, answered Phileas Fogg. We are going to travel round the world. So he replied, Not I. Actually, we are going. Passepartout stood still. Without moving, he was stunned to hear this. His eyes staring and his body limp. His eyes continuously stared his master. Without any motion, his body was limp. He was just like paralyzed, without any expression. Round the world, he murmured. He talked to himself. In 80 days, added Mr. Fogg, so we must not lose a moment. So we have to complete the journey in 80 days. So we should not waste our time. But the trunks, he asked. His servant asked. No trunks, just a traveling bag. It means we are just going to take a small traveling bag, not the trunks. Put in 2 shirts and 3 pairs of socks for me, and the same for yourself. So he instructed Passepartout for these items to be kept in bag. We shall buy what we need on the way. Bring my raincoat and other belongings. So children, in this video we will read only this much. Till then, read the chapter again, and we will continue the rest of the chapter in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Take care, children.